Alright, hey guys, it's A50 Bassin back here. Back here again with a brand new video. Sorry I haven't been able to upload much, I just really haven't had the time, but definitely going to be looking to get some more fishing vlogs up. Haven't really got any yet, but we're definitely going to try to get some. But today I'm going to be going over a video that a couple of my friends have requested. It's going to help out more of you pond guys. But we're going to start off with my 5 most favorite pond baits. These aren't going to be in order at all, but we're just going to see how it goes. I've got my 5 lined up right here, and we're just gonna go with the flow. All right, so here we go. Number 1, probably gonna be a spinnerbait. I like this one. I definitely like using willow leaf blades. I don't really like Colorados. They give off a little bit too much vibration for a pond, but I usually like to use multi-bladed. They give off a little bit more shine. I definitely like to sit with a chartreuse, white, black, white, chartreuse, something around that range. But also some spinnerbaits I like to use for bigger ponds, I guess you could say. I like to use, instead of just one arm, I like to have multiple arms, and that'll help it to give it a little bit more flash, make it look more like a bait ball. But I definitely still like to use the chartreuse color, one of my favorite colors, pretty much. Next, I'm gonna move on. I'd probably go with this, the Topwater Frog. I usually like to use a smaller profile, and since we have a pretty good amount of darker frogs, not more like bullfrogs here, we got a lot of dark brown, almost toads here. I like to use this dart frog color on the Booyah Mini or Junior Pad Crasher. I really like this color, seems to catch fish for me, so yeah. And number 3, probably gonna be your stick bait, Senko, stick bait, whatever you wanna call it. I really like these. They're very versatile. I can fish them pretty much everywhere. I usually like to stick with Yamamoto's. They always work pretty well, have great quality, and really you can fish this anywhere. You can fish this almost any way you want. You can wacky rig it right in the middle, so then it just floats in the water like that, or you can just rig it like a Senko, so it's more of an erratic type of movement. And I usually like to stick with a baby bass color, watermelon red, pumpkin seed, just your basic colors pretty much. Next, I want to move on to a jig or crawl, and I really like these right here. They're called the Culprit and Credis Slims, and the reason I really like these is because I like the slimmer ones than the fat ones, because they seem to be a little easier to hook and a little easier to work out. And I like the Credis Slims. They have a little bit more color to them. You get to really see, because they're slim, you can really see all the detail in them. These little tails, they work great. But I definitely like to keep this on a Texas rig, or a Texas rig, maybe a Carolina rig, something like that. And it really gives off a lot of action. And I like the slim ones also because it seems to have that lower profile, so to keep those fish interested and not scare them away as much. And next, I'm gonna move on to a bait that some people like to use, some people don't. It's called the Square Bill Crankbait. It works very well in mainly smaller ponds. I like to crank it pretty fast through ponds though. I definitely like to stick with either chartreuse, blue and white color, or yellow color. I like this red craw color for down here in Florida. It seems to work really well. But see, the square bill here, the good thing about it is it won't run super deep and get on all that grass that most ponds have. It'll stay above the grass and it'll just start humming right over it. And then usually those fish will be right at the top of that grass, so right when they see it run over, they'll just hit it. And getting a strike on this it's almost comparable to a topwater frog. It's absolutely crazy. They hammer it. And then finally, I want to move on to a more unconventional bait that most people wouldn't think to use in a pond, but it's actually one of my first go-tos, and a lot of you smallie bass fishermen or smallmouth fishermen usually like to use this a lot, but I actually like to use this in ponds because I like to get it right over that grass, because I don't want to get it in it, then it'll get all tangled up and all this stuff could happen, and then it just ruins the cast. So I usually like to keep it, so it's actually a drop shot. And I usually stick with the pencil drop shot weights, because they can drop right down in the weeds and all that mess down there and come straight back out with not anything on them. And then I like to stick with a very, very sensitive bait, usually something very thin, usually with a black, green, chartreuse, I even have some blue ones. Those work pretty good in maybe some more murky water situations, but I usually like to stick with more natural colors for the drop shot and just bounce it right above that weed line or the bottom. I usually like to bounce it right above that weed line on the bottom, and fish will just come up and grab it. Now, they're very finicky with this. They'll just nip at it for a little bit, but then once they take it, you don't want to hook set hard. You don't want to really like do your topwater frog or something where you just lay into them. You just want to do an easy pull, just an easy pull. Just hook them right in the corner of the mouth with that circle hook, and it'll work perfect. But I usually like to nose hook them. Nose hook these right through right through the nose, and it always stays on there pretty well. And that's gonna be my top 5 baits. I hope you guys enjoyed. Definitely gonna try to get up some more content for you guys, and I hope you all have a great day. That's it from 850 Bass Sim.